Hello and welcome to Web Development for Graphic Communications as part of the Reese Graphic Arts and Imaging Technology program at ASU. My name is Kay Bishop and I'll be the instructor for this course. You may see my name spelled as K-A-I or K-A-Y. I go by K, but both Kai or K are correct, so just wanted to clear that up. I grew up in Texas and I received my BFA at the University of Texas at Austin and worked as an art director for a magazine for about 5 years in Chicago. And I've also taught art education to kids through high school age, and now I'm happy to teach graphic design through the Department of Art. So I usually teach document design or graphic design. And for this class, I just want to say that we're really focusing on graphic communications end of web. And I also want to introduce myself and hopefully get to know you all better, even though it's an online class. I do look forward to getting to know you all and hopefully meet you face to face. And this is just a 1 second a day app that I used during the last semester of the spring 2018 semester, so you can kind of get a gist of how I spend my days.
The place to go.
That my uncle
Maybe drifts are still up from
Try her and go.
memory foam.
Happy Mother's Day. Go. Oh, chicken. Fire.
Oh. Wait.
Nursery.
So I hope that gives you a snapshot of who I am. Also, like you, I am an online student with pursuing my master's in educational media with a concentration on global perspectives and new media literacies. And so I understand what it's like to take online courses and the challenges that go with that. And so I'll talk a little bit about what it means to be an online student. So just because it's online doesn't mean you can turn in assignments whenever you want. There are still due dates. And it doesn't mean that it's easier. It doesn't mean you don't have to participate or interact with the instructor or with your classmates. And it doesn't mean that your instructor is distant and unavailable. Also, if you need to get in touch with me, I'm working out an office space, and I'll try to get back to you on that. But you can always email me. I'm very good with responding to email, but just give me a 24-hour grace period and maybe 48 hours if it's over the weekend if I happen to be traveling. Being an online student does have its challenges. You have to be independent. You have to be self-motivated. You really need to manage your time well to complete your work and meet those deadlines, because there are deadlines. This class is asynchronous, which means that there's no classroom or set class time, and so there's no attendance taken. Some of the advantages of being online is that you can be self-paced. You don't have to check in at the same time every week. You can do the lessons when you're able to, and then make sure you get them in on time though. So again, I just want to emphasize this is not a coding class. It's not a computer science class. And we're really going to focus more on the graphic design part of the web development and really using the Adobe Creative Cloud programs, essentially Dreamweaver, to build our websites, and where we will learn a little bit of coding with HTML in Dreamweaver. And then we're also going to start off with Adobe Muse, which is really a program where you can just focus on the design and layout and not have to know any coding for web design. And then we also will be using some Photoshop. Hopefully most of you are familiar with Photoshop. And then there's also a book about more HTML and web with a little more coding and stuff that are optional. These are all on the syllabus. The only required textbook is the Against the Clock Dreamweaver 2018 textbook. So again, that's all on the syllabus, and I'll talk more about that. I am always available if you need to meet with me on campus or if you want to schedule a video conference. If I'm not on campus, I can meet with you that way either through Google Hangout or via Zoom. I'm now going to go onto our course page so you can follow along and see how our classes are structured. I'm now on our As You Learn course page. So this is our course site, and everything will be delivered on this site. So be sure to check in frequently on the As You Learn course page. Up here you can see this graphic is just a combination of some different elements from previous student sites for their final projects. You can email me at any time if you need to meet with me. Since it's an online class, I am local. I do live in town. I don't have an office currently, but I can meet you on campus if needed, or we can schedule a video conference. So you can always email me to set up an appointment. The first thing that you'll want to do under Helpful Resources is to download the course syllabus. If you just click on it, there is a PDF file, and you can scroll through it, or you can download it or print it out here. Please be sure to read through the syllabus carefully. Look at what is needed for this class. The only textbook that is required is the Adobe Dreamweaver 2018 book from Against the Clock. These other books are here just as additional resources, and they are optional. Keep in mind that for the Against the Clock textbook, you will need to go to the website that's linked here in gray, bold, and there are instructions on our course page that I'll go to after I go through this on how to download graphic files. So you will need the graphic files from the website in order to complete the tutorials for this class. You also want to make sure you've got a drive, some kind of flash drive or a Google Drive to store all of your files in, and make sure that you back everything up. So we'll be using the Adobe Creative Cloud platform, primarily Dreamweaver, but you'll also be using Photoshop, and then Muse is optional this semester. And so just a note on that, Adobe Muse has been discontinued, but the program, once it's installed, is still fully functional, and so we'll just be using Muse mainly in site planning, and I'll talk more about that. But if you want to know more about Muse and why it's discontinued and details on that, you can go to this linked website here. And then you can read over the course description and the course objectives, and then our course structure, which I'll be going over here on our As You Learn page. The assignments will need to be due by midnight on Tuesdays, and I will deliver new videos or materials or update them the Tuesday before the assignment is due, usually by 5 o'clock. Make sure that you participate in the discussion forums, so participation is very important in this class, and then make sure you meet the deadline, so you will be deducted points for work that's turned in late. Then here's the breakdown of the grading system. And then the schedule, if you scroll down, there is a page with the schedule of when assignments are due and what is going to be delivered for each module. So there will be 9 modules in this course. Also on this schedule, you'll see in the gray text means that these are tutorial assignments from the textbook that do not need to be turned in, but they'll be evaluated by the homework assignment or by the quiz. Let's go back to the main course page here. So here's the link under the course syllabus for the instructions on how to download files for the Against the Clock book. So if once you purchase the textbook, then there is a code on the back of the book that you will need to register and then download the files. So here are the instructions on how to do that. So this is what the website looks like. We have a Google Plus community here that I want you to participate in, and what I'll do is probably gather all of your emails and send you an invite so that we can keep it private. And then you can join that community, and this is, if you click on it, it goes right to here. There's Bob Ross is our mascot for this class. And then in Happy Clouds resources, if you click on here, I can add or post any helpful resources, and you can do that also for your peers. And then if you need help, go to the Not So Happy Clouds help area. And then later on, I will list out your professional site groups so that you can communicate with your groups on the group project in this area. Here is a final project website sample page that you can see what some of these final sites might look like from previous classes. And then the Zoom video, I'm going to try to do a mandatory Zoom video introduction just to make sure that everyone understands how this course is organized and what's expected. So I'll try to do maybe 2 or 3 different sessions. I know there's a lot of people sign up for this class, so it may be hard to get the scheduling right, but I will try to offer some different times so that you can do that. And then just click on, once I set that up, just click on the join link, and I'll probably send you an email and let you know when that's going to be happening. So there's really only 2 mandatory meetings. The first would be this video Zoom meeting, and then when we do our group projects, I like to meet with each group either by video or in person. So the other Zoom meetings would be optional as needed. I may also post announcements here in the announcement section, so make sure you check that, and that would go to your email as well. And then there's a web publishing document which I'm going to try to update for you, and that is once you get to the point of putting your website to the ASU server. So there's instructions on this document on how to do that. And then here are some additional tutorials. If you can go to lynda.com, and I do believe that's a paid subscription, but you can link to that if you want to look at additional video tutorials. And then W3 Schools and Code Academy are free resources that you can go to if you want to learn more coding. And they have some really helpful tutorials there. I will try to post a weekly schedule later on so that you can sign up if you need to meet with me on campus or by video. And then I've also got an extra credit section you can look at that's due October 24th for those of you who are photographers in this class, and that's to help for another class that I teach. And then late assignments, anytime you have an assignment that is late, just turn it in this late assignment section, except for the final projects section. All other assignments turn late work into that area. And you can let me know if you turn in something late so I can look for it there. Right now we're in Module 1. You always want to go to the Start Here and click on that, and that's where I'm going to deliver all the videos. I'm going to update this introduction video, and then any of the blue hyperlinks you can click on to go to this first assignment sheet here, and then just read or download the instructions. And I often have things linked in the bold gray text. I'm going to go back to Module 1 here. So you can also click here, and basically you just want to do it in order. So next you would click on that Module 1 assignment sheet, go through the instructions, then go to Discussion 1. And this is just kind of introductions to get to know your classmates, especially since you'll be working with them in a group project. You can just click on Add a New Discussion Topic and type in your answer here. And I also encourage you to kind of back up your work, or maybe type it in Word or Notes, Memo, and then copy and paste it here just in case you lose your internet connection and it gets lost. So you want to try to back up your discussion post that way. So back to Module 1, the last thing is that you'll need to participate in our survey, and this is graded, so just click on Answer Questions and go through so I can better assess where you are all coming from for this class. And then once you complete Module 1 by August 28th, then you will go on to Module 2. So you can work ahead, but just keep in mind that some of the videos may not be updated and I'll try to make a note. If it's not updated, I'll say updated video to come, and I'll let you know once the videos are updated. So you want to do everything in order. You want to turn in everything by the deadline stated. And then in Module 2, we'll be looking at images, working in Photoshop. In Module 3, you'll start to set up a site plan for one of your final sites. And again, in the past, I've done that in Muse, which is really good for doing a site plan. But if you don't want to learn Muse, you don't have to. You can use Photoshop or some other program. But you do need to make sure that the site plan is clear on the pages and the wireframing, and then you'll need to watch the wireframing video and all of the videos here. And you do still need to go back and watch the Muse site plan video. That'd be back in Module 1, so that you can get an idea of what I'm looking for. And then I've got the site organization in Muse video. So at the end of that video, I talk about how to set up a site in Muse. So you can go back to Module 1 and watch that if you, so you can get an idea of what the site plan should look like and what I'm looking for. So then I kind of start off slowly in this course, and then in Module 4 we really begin to pick up the pace, and that's when we begin in Dreamweaver, and we actually begin to set up a site in Dreamweaver and laying out a website. And so we'll be doing that through this homework assignment, and then you'll actually create a web page that's going to be live in Homework 6. So you will need to have your web host connected by Homework 6 by October 9th. And so if you're going to use the ASU server, which everyone who is at ASU has a free website, and you can go back to the web document, which I will update to see how to do that. If you do not want to use the ASU server for some reason, there are some other resources you can use. I've used GoDaddy and iPage, and I can talk to you more about that. But really, there's no reason for you not to use the ASU server. If you currently have a website already on that server, you can just add it as a link, and I will show you how to do that, because you're only allowed really one website on the server, or one web address, but we can work around that if needed. Then in Module 5 through 8, you're going to be doing different assignments from the textbook, and then there's going to be a tutorial. Then you have a homework assignment after you do the tutorial that is kind of to gauge and assess your understanding of the tutorial. And then in Module 9, you will have your final assignments due. And those are the due dates. So you'll have a e-portfolio, a professional group site, and then responsive redesign, which can be turned in as a Muse site if you wish, or as a Dreamweaver site. It does not have to be linked onto your website, but if you do link it, it will be extra credit. So I'll talk more about that once we get to that point, but just wanted to give a heads up. But all the assignment sheets are up on the course page if you want to look ahead and read about it. And again, I'll try to let you know if I do any updates on them throughout the semester. So you will have weekly homework, discussion, and quizzes on all the material covered. So it's really important that you get that textbook from Against the Clock for Dreamweaver. And then you will be graded on all of these items, including the discussion, and make sure you get them in on the due dates. Also, for each module, I have a food for thought section. That's to kind of look to see how to apply that module to the final sites and some things to think about, to think ahead. So make sure you read that too. And those are some images of pork belly sandwiches that I had in New York City. And that's a reminder to start gathering your assets to implement into your final projects. So everything that we do in this class is working towards the goal of the final projects, which is to have at least 2 live working websites uploaded to the web host server by the end of the semester. So for now, go back to Module 1 on the course page and go through that, complete the survey, do the introduction and the discussion forum, and then look for an email from me about the Zoom meeting, and hopefully I can address any questions you may have. I look forward to working with you in developing a website, and with each module you'll be learning more tools that will help you to build your final website in the final module. And so by the end of this course, you will have a completed, well-designed, working website. So let's begin.